On your first day as the project lead, no one in the project group congratulates you. Only one veteran colleague sends a message. This isn't how we used to do things. You stare at the screen without replying right away. Yesterday, you were still sitting together revising the plan. Today, 3 words have appeared after your name, project lead. Those 3 words don't make the air quieter. They only make it more sensitive. You sit in a small meeting room. The door isn't fully closed. A few colleagues are leaning against their desks outside, looking down at their phones. Their voices are kept low. You know they're waiting to see how you respond to that message. If you immediately send out a notice, they'll say you're eager to show who's in charge. If you do nothing, they'll think you can't control the room. You thought that after being promoted, your first task would be to assign people work. But only after taking the position do you realize a team doesn't move simply because someone has been appointed. Everyone have their own habits, pace, interests, and judgment. If you rush in trying to prove, I'm in charge, they won't obey. They'll simply start watching for where you might be unstable. A team won't accept you just because an appointment email says so. They only care about one thing. Can you make people willing to cooperate? Can you actually move the process forward? 10 a.m. You don't flood the group with notices. You take your laptop and first go find the colleague who has been with the team the longest. His desk has several client process charts posted on it. Next to the keyboard is half a cup of Americano. You pull up a chair and sit down. You ask only 3 questions. Where is the biggest bottleneck right now? Who holds the key information? Which part is broken, but nobody dares to say it? At first, he only gives you the surface-level reasons. The process is slow, the client keeps changing their mind. You don't interrupt. You simply write down every name and milestone. 10 minutes later, he finally points to a gray folder on the screen and says the real problem is here. Everyone uses this version of the quote, but no one is willing to sign off on it. For the first time, you see, where the project is truly blocked. In the afternoon, you talk to 2 more people. One handles client communication. The other handles delivery scheduling. You don't ask whether they support you, nor do you ask what they think of you. You only ask them to walk through the entire process from beginning to end. Where it takes detours, where work is repeated, where everyone pretends not to see the problem. You realize the project isn't stuck because nobody is working. It's stuck because the information has been fragmented. The client knows one part, the person responsible for delivery knows another, and the quote is in someone else's hands. Information is like scattered keys held in different people's pockets. No one completely knows where the door is, but no one wants to hand over their key first. The first layer of management isn't giving orders. It's getting information to flow to you first. The next day, you put the progress tracker on the screen. The meeting room is small. The air conditioner hums quietly. You don't sit in the center. And you don't give a long speech about taking office. You simply divide every task into 4 columns. To be confirmed. In progress. Blocked. Completed. For each task, you leave only 3 things. Who is responsible when it is due, and who needs to cooperate? The veteran colleague leans back and frowns. Isn't this too much trouble? We used to just compare notes ourselves. You nod. You don't argue. You simply move the requirement he owns under blocked. Then ask, so where exactly is it blocked? Who do you need to give you what today? The room goes quiet for a moment. He looks at the person beside him. The person called out raises their head and gives a brief explanation. You write the deadline into the tracker. Conclusion by 6 p.m. today. You don't criticize anyone. But everyone sees it now. From now on, problems can't hide inside complaints. They must land on a milestone, a time, and an owner. From that day on, you establish just one rule. From today onward, the project group is only for confirming 3 kinds of things. Decisions that have already been made, potential problems, and who needs to help. Casual chat can stay in another group. You don't care. But once you're in the project group, every sentence must be clear. Who will do it, and when the result will be delivered. Some people don't adapt. Some start making sarcastic remarks. Some deliberately make problems sound vague. You don't lose your temper immediately. You simply translate vague problems into clear actions again and again and put them into the progress tracker. The moment the new rule truly takes effect isn't when everyone likes you. It's when everyone realizes that going around you is more trouble than following the system. Day 3. For the first time, you take a problem to your previous boss. You ask for finances support in the group. Why do we have to pay the supplier's deposit now? Then the client suddenly sends another message. Can we add another version of the page for next week's presentation? You don't dump that pressure onto the team unchanged. You take the schedule, the quotation, and the risk list to your boss. Once the door is closed, you don't say, everyone is working so hard. You talk about 3 things. If we don't lock in the supplier today, we may not get a slot next week. If the client keeps adding pages, the presentation will have to be pushed back by at least 2 days. If we still want to deliver on the original date, design and tech to each free up 1 person today. Your boss doesn't agree immediately. He flips through the documents and asks, who will handle this? You answer confidently with 1 name. Not the person who talks the most, and not the person closest to you. It's the one who can always break complex requirements down into a checklist. You know he wants to move up, but no one has ever pushed him to the front. That afternoon, you call him into the small meeting room. A newly printed schedule is on the table. You tell him you take the lead on the new pages this time. I'll get the client's confirmation for you. I'll also coordinate with design. At next week's review, you present the process. He looks at the schedule. His finger pauses at the edge of the paper. Then he says, okay. Someone outside sees it. Soon the whole team will know. You don't distribute opportunities based on relationships. That is how you decide who gets the opportunity. You distribute them based on who can move critical milestones forward. Shows the team what you truly value. Over the next few days, you stop trying to maintain the same relationship at lunch without thinking. Now, when you sit down, the conversation pauses for half a second. You can feel that half second, but you no longer rush to fill it. You start spending your time where it matters more, coordinating with clients on site, helping others, spotting risks early and recording them. During each review, you still listen to everyone's complaints. You no longer complain along with them, because your position has changed. In the past, you earn trust. Now people look at whether the things you said actually get done. On day 5 of the project, the person most likely to procrastinate pushes the materials to the last minute. You don't humiliate him in front of everyone. Instead, at the next day's review, you lay out the facts. Submission time, impact on the process, and how to recover afterward. You had already prepared a backup division of work. The part he delayed is temporarily split off to someone else. The milestone keeps moving forward. He looks at the progress tracker, then looks at the task that has been taken over. He says nothing. Authority isn't making other people stop and wait for you. Authority is that when someone slows the pace, the system can still move forward. Management isn't about turning everyone into friends. It's about making everyone understand that their actions affects the next opportunity. Day 10. The client presentation begins. The meeting room lights go out. The screen lights up. The person you pushed forward holding a laser pointer at the front and pointing at the process. You sit to the side instead of rushing to speak. The person you pushed forward stands at the front and points at the process with a laser pointer, explaining the logic of the new version page. The client asks 3 sharp questions. He pauses and looks at you. You don't answer for him. You simply slide the printed risk sheet over to him. He takes it and continues. The presentation ends. The client's representative says, we can move forward. This version looks good. You see several people on the team breathe a sigh of relief. Someone starts posting screenshots in the group. Someone marks the final task on the progress tracker. You don't write a long reflection in the group. You send just 1 sentence. Review tomorrow at 10 a.m. completed on schedule. Everyone bring your own problems. At the review the next day, plan. You divide the credit among who secured client approval, who completed the data, who stabilized the supplier relationship. This time, no one asks, because they have already seen the new way and gotten results from it. The ultimate authority of a project lead doesn't come from having the loudest voice. It comes from the team believing that by following the system, things will become clearer, opportunities will become fairer. The next time they face a similar situation, everyone will know how to handle it. You finally understand. That position isn't a prize. One end is connected to the budget, client, management, and risk. The other is connected to every person's ability, emotions, and expectations on the team. You take the seat, not to make everyone revolve around you, but to bring messy information, limited manpower, and different people into one executable system. So when you first become the project lead, don't rush to establish authority. First, see clearly where the problem is blocked. Make sure every problem has an owner. Turn spoken commitments into results. Make sure capable people are seen. Then use a small win to prove that the system really works. By then, you won't need to remind people every day that you're the project lead. When someone encounters a problem, they'll first open that progress tracker. Look at the owner, the deadline, and the next action. That's the moment the team truly begins to operate according to your system.